The lighting ain't perfect, but we'll get it right eventually. So, your 9 to 5 isn't holding you back. Leaving your 9 to 5 without extracting its value is. Meaning you're getting paid to learn. This is real time, no edits, man. Hello? 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 Sí, yo hablo español. No va a poder, y I'm sorry por no llamarte para atrás, pero ya yo estoy bien. I'm sorry, se me olvidó porque tenía que hacer muchas cosas, pero yo iba a ver la casa y te iba a llamar, pero no podía. No, y se me olvidó porque estaba busy. I'm sorry. Excúsame. No, está bien. Si algo cambia, yo te llamo, pero por ahora yo estoy bien, ¿ok? Ok, gracias. Okay, that was real time. That was a little real estate deal. But I got other things to do. I penciled out the deal, and the deal didn't quite work out. So I got into another better situation. But see, this is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. See, your 9 to 5 isn't holding you back. Extracting its value is like leaving before you extract its value. So you actually getting paid to learn. This is gonna be short. It's gonna be right to the point. So here's a couple stories. Because it's about, for me, it was about first the internal world, which is identity, skill, income, leverage, ownership, and then wealth. You want me to tell you what you need for all of them? Identity is how you impress the world around you, how you impress yourself and the world around you. Skill, it is the ability to seize an opportunity or make something happen and produce an outcome out of it. That was skill. Income is how you bring from that skill, how you produce something and bring it in, something of value which you could trade. And then leverage, using that and putting things into play, creating a blueprint where you could start allocating capital to and owning something. And then it's about wealth and what it takes internally. See, people want to create wealth, and you got to be patient with yourself. Now, with wealth, you're gonna have to be relaxed within the moment right now. So however you respond to certain things, if you're able to handle situations, able to handle more, it's how you respond. Responsibility, the ability to respond. So wealth is like, you could define it as making money in your sleep, right? Where you just produce an income. So if that is wealth, being relaxed in every situation, just like when you're sleeping, making money in your sleep, right? Picture that. You're wealthy, you're making money in your sleep. Now, if you're making money in your sleep, which means that you produce a system that produced an outcome for you to generate money, that has to be a principle that has to be applicable in real life. in your daily life, which means being relaxed in every situation, in any business deal, in any deal, in any leadership thing that you got to do within your job. You got to be relaxed. Same thing when you're sleeping. You're relaxed, right? Your body's relaxed. Your physiology represents stability. All these things, they correlate to each other. So that's what it takes internally. So in order to build wealth, you got to be relaxed in every situation. So I'm going to tell you a story about how you could extract value. So a lesson that I learned is, because I'm kind of a nice guy, I could be an asshole sometimes, but so I want you to understand the message. It's not that you have to be an asshole, but when it came to leadership, I always wanted to make everybody happy. I'm telling you, it's a lesson, so it was a flaw. Now, I'll give you an example. Within my industry, there were certain teams that were already done, so they had to work together. But this person didn't like this person, so he wanted to go with that person, but that person didn't like that person that he wanted to go to. So trying to make everybody happy to get the work done. But I noticed that wouldn't work out, me doing what they wanted to do. It was more making it full circle, seeing the vision and making sure that vision gets accomplished. So it's not necessarily about making them happy. My team is about making them better. And when I make them better through the decisions that I make, eventually they'll be happy. So that's one lesson that I learned. Another lesson was making fast decisions. I was overthinking certain things. And this was, so if I was doing it within my industry, I was doing it in real life without my 9 to 5. And again, I want to get this clear. I want to make this clear. This is about those who want to exit their 9 to 5, right? If you're making 75 to 150,000, if you want to raise, if you want to climb the ladder fast, if you want to go from 54 to 75 and then to 90 within like a month, quick, and then 150. These are the internal magic, let's say, that it takes to produce these outcomes. So back to the story. Overthinking, making fast decisions. I was thinking about being perfect. It's not about being perfect. It's about making fast decisions and being able to pivot quickly. So, and then taking what you've learned and not making the same mistake. So, if you fail early, you're able to pivot and correct that mistake. So overthinking when it came to decisions was killing the time frame within that. And not just overthinking came with a thought that, what if my solution was not good enough? See, you have to be able to present bad ideas, the best bad idea, if that makes any sense. So overthinking. Another lesson that I learned was being able to communicate correctly and knowing exactly what I want. This comes with being a leader. So if you make it 75 and you want to climb to 90, then 100, then 150, there it goes. This is what it takes internally, and these are the lessons that I learned. So it's the ability to communicate, to articulate my decision, and knowing exactly what I want. I think that was 3. Because knowing exactly what you want symbolizes a certain conviction about you. This comes with making a decision too. So it comes with unshakable focus and being impatient with decisions and being patient with the result of it. No matter the outcome, you'll always be able to switch to a spare on that highway, on that road to riches, and being comfortable. You got a certain conviction about you, and that's what your team feels. So if they feel a certain indecision where they could feel that, your team feels that, where they ask you something. This is an example, real life example. They ask you as a leader, "Oh, can I do this?" And you be like, "I think you should." Just that word, "I think you should," it doesn't represent being certain. So those three things I believe that I mentioned, how can you apply that to, having an identity, building a skill, producing income out of that skill, leveraging that skill, owning something, and then that leads to wealth, which eventually you want to exit because you're unhappy about your certain conditions at your salary paid job, which is another thing. Being unhappy about where you are right now and not being able to leverage what you got. So if you do have a 9 to 5, if you do work 10 hours a day, 18, right? You sleep for 8, let's say, eat for another, that's 19. You still got like about 6 hours to do something. But that's a whole nother video now. How do I make this applicable in real life? As you've seen that call was in Spanish, but it was about a property. I'd rather do this than actually go see that property, even though I penciled out the deal and I seen that it wasn't gonna work out and it was my fault that I didn't call her back. But how can I make this applicable? So making fast decisions and being patient is always like what makes it parallel. So I swing trade, meaning day trading, which I'm eventually show you, and I'm gonna document it. I'm gonna show you what it takes internally. But this is about allocating capital, and it's also about making fast decisions and execution. So I applied that real life scenario to swing trading, or day trading. That's how you allocate capital, allocate certain energy. What was the other one? Overthinking, right? Or it wasn't about making them happy, it was about making them better. So this is about leadership and actually developing a certain type of system and having a vision. So this is like the subcontracting part of real estate. Walking in, I'm mix this with articulating and communicating this so I can knock it out and I don't take your Sunday from you, which is like like 14, 15 minutes. It's actually walking into the land that I bought, the property. I'm seeing on my team the electricians, the foundation layers, the plumbers, and walking in and telling them exactly what I want. Communicating to them. And knowing exactly what you want brings a level of certainty. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. You have a 9 to 5, you do have a salary paid job. I'm telling you, you can, if you want to, you can leave your job. But you're getting paid to learn, so why not extract its value? And use those funds and apply it to your business. But you can leave your job without extracting this value, but I don't recommend that. I recommend that you're patient with the results and impatient with your decision making, which means do it now. Do whatever you're trying to do now. Don't wait for the perfect time. Do it right now. See, like this. I was trying to get a good shot, but the lighting ain't correct. But it's not about the lighting just yet. It's about the message. And I want to be frank with you. Pause. And we ain't talking about Franks, man. Yeah. So there goes a little bit of a story, how the lessons I learned and how can you apply it to whatever you're trying to do. But what I talk about, and I'm gonna make sure I stay in this lane, is about building the identity, how you impress yourself and the field around you. How that eventually turns into a skill, how that skill produces you income, how can you leverage that income and be a steward of money so money can understand you and you can understand it and understand why it flows to certain people, why it flows, why does it prosper, why does it flow, why is it a river? And then eventually into owning something, and then taking that ownership and converting it into wealth. So thank y'all for being with me on this beautiful Sunday. I got my workout gear on, about to go hit it up. So y'all know my slogan already, man. What we gonna do, man? We gonna keep it infinite.